make it, these are the materials that you need. Firstly, a 3 mm crochet hook, a sewing needle, pins. If you don't have it, it's completely fine. Scissors and these 2 balls of yarns. So firstly, to start, we are going to take our white yarn and we are going to make a magic ring. And now we are going to chain 1. Like that. Now in this magic ring, we are going to insert a total of 6 single crochets. So this is how you make single crochet. So just repeat it until you have 6 single crochets. Make sure you're working with this smaller strand of yarn also. So just count on your stitches, and once you have 6 single crochets, now all you have to pull the smaller yarn tightly. And now we are going to make slip stitch. So just go to the very first stitch right there and then pull the yarn through there and just do your slip stitch. Now we are going to proceed for our next round. So for that you have to chain 1 and then you have to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So that's an increase, and we are going to increase up to 12 single crochets. So we are going to make increases in this round. So you are going to have a total of 12 single crochets in total. So here I am on my last stitch. Now I am going to make a slip stitch into the very first stitch, and then I have to chain 1 for the next step. So for this we are going to make 1 single crochet into the very first stitch. Now we have to make 2 single crochet into the same stitch. So that's an increase. So it's going to go like 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then an increase into the next stitch. So you have to repeat this process for 6 times until you have a total of 18 single crochets for this round. Once you are done with your 18th single crochet, lastly you have to slip stitch to close it off, and then you have to chain 1 to start with round 4. So for this we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, then again 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Now into the third stitch you have to make 1 increase. That means 2 single crochet into the same stitch. Again you have to do the same thing again and again. So just follow this step for 6 times and you are going to have a total of 24 single crochets for round 4. After making 24th single crochet, now we are going to make our slip stitch into the very first stitch like this. Now we are going to chain 1 and we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, then again 1 single crochet into the next stitch, then 1 more single crochet into the next stitch. That means you are going to have a total of 3 single crochets and then you are going to make 1 increase. So just go on and repeat this pattern for your round 5 until you have 30 single crochets for this round. So lastly we are going to make our slip stitch and we are going to chain 1 to start with our round 6. So for this round all you have to do is you have to make 1 single crochet and again 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches, then you have to make 1 increase into the next stitch, that means into the third stitch, and into the following 2 stitches again you have to put 1 single crochet into each of the stitches. So I'm going to show you for the second time also. So for the second time you are on your last single crochet. So from here, as it's on the pattern, and then again 1 increase and then again 2 single crochet. So this is how you are going to do it. Lastly here I am completing my 2 stitches and I'm going to just slip stitch to complete with this round, and I have to chain 1 to start with our round 7. So for this round you have to simply make 1 single crochets in all of the stitches. There is no increase for this round, and in total you are going to make 36 single crochets for this round because we haven't made any increases for this round. So to close it off, again we are going to make a slip stitch into the very first stitch. So this is how you are going to complete this round. So like your row 7, you have to do it till your round 14. Once you are done with your 14th row, now we are going to work for our 15th row. Starting from our 15th row, we are going to make decreases. So we are going to make 4 single crochets into the first 4 stitches, and after completing your 4th stitch, now we are going to make one decrease. So for that you have to make half single crochet into the first stitch and then a full single crochet. When you have 3 loops, you have to simply make a normal single crochet into all of the 3 loops at once. So like this, you have to follow the pattern of making 4 single crochets and then one decrease. So in total, you are going to have a total of 30 single crochets for your round 15. So once you are done with this round, we are simply going to make our slip stitch into the very first stitch like that, and we are going to chain 1 to start with our round 16. So for this round, we are going to make 3 single crochets into the first 3 stitches. So after completing it, we are going to make decrease. So we are going to make, so we made one decrease here, and after that again we are going to make 3 single crochets. So like this, you have to follow this pattern for your round 16. So in total, you are going to have 24 single crochets for this round. So once you are done making decreases, so finally we are going to make our slip stitch and again chain 1. So for round 17, we are going to make 2 single crochet into the first 2 stitches, and after that we are going to make one decrease like that. So again you have to make 2 single crochets into the following stitches, then again one decrease. So just follow it along and you have to have a total of 18 single crochets for this round. Lastly, you have to slip stitch and chain 1. So for round 18, we are going to make one single crochet into the first stitch and then one decrease. So repeat it. So repeat it 6 times until you have 12 single crochets in total. So finally we are going to slip stitch. So over here you can add stuffing until it's full, and now we are left with 6 decreases. So you have to make your decreases like you were doing before. So in total you are going to do it 6 times. So take your time and complete this process. So this is how it should look, and finally I'm going to slip stitch over here to close it off, and I will chain 1, and you have to cut a very long string over here so that we can sew the hole. So just attach your sewing needle to it, and we are going to cover this part. So just go on in and out like I'm doing in this video. So just go on sewing it until you are satisfied with the security. And lastly, I'm going to make a knot over here. And we are going to take the string into our ball and come it from the other side. So like this it's hidden. And we are going to chop the excess part. Yeah, so we are done with the base of the ball. Now we are going to work for the black part. So for that you have to simply make magic ring and you have to make one single crochet. Now you have to insert a total of 5 single crochets into this magic ring. Once you are done with your 5 single crochets, lastly we are going to make our slip stitch into the very first stitch to close our row, like that. And to work on the next row, we are going to chain one, and in each of the stitches we are going to make increases. So in total you are going to have 10 single crochets. So just go on making 2 single crochets into each of the stitches until you have 10 single crochets. And lastly you have to make a slip stitch and you have to chain one and cut the yarn. So you have to make a total of 12 pieces like this. Once you have it, now we have to attach it. So to attach it, we have to look for the right side, and now we are simply going to pin it to the places we want it to be placed. So firstly I'm going to pin it on the top and the bottom, and then you have to take 5 pieces and just go around, and then you have to make 5 pieces on the top round and 5 pieces on the bottom round. So go on pinning like this. After pinning, it will look like this. Now we are going to glue it. I'm going to use my glue gun over here. Make sure you're pasting that smaller yarn also. And now to the place where it was pinned, we're simply going to stick it on like this. Similarly, we are going to do for the other spots also. So just pin it out and insert your pin over there, and you have to glue it again, making sure that you are also gluing that leftover yarns also. And now just glue the excess part, and you have to take out the pin from that place and just stick it on. So just go on repeating of gluing it, and I'll meet you once it's glued. So this is how it looks after gluing it. Now I'm going to simply show you how you have to connect it. So you have to thread your needle with black yarn, and after that you have to attach the top part with the 5 tops, and again and similarly on the bottom part. And now you have to connect it horizontally like this. and similarly on the bottom part. Now comes the middle part. So for that, you are simply going to make these kinds of lines. It's simply going to be a triangle, you see, like this, or you can call it N, like this. Similarly on the back side. So just continue it. So here I am showing you how I have made my N shapes in the middle part. So for the middle part you have to simply make N. So here is the quick tutorial how you are going to sew it. So just follow along. So after connecting all of it, it will look like this. Finally, I'm chopping my yarn, and now I'm going to cut the excess part. So to make it clear, we are going to simply take our back side of our hook and simply going to push it inside. So that's how you get a clean look for this. Now you are done with your ball. So now you can gift it to your friends and family. You can also go ahead and attach a keyring to it